Right, this time in the Quick Speed Shop, I got a day in the life video today. First thing I gotta do, I gotta go out to Buffalo. I bought a snowplow for that black 80 Dodge truck I just picked up. This is actually on a running and driving truck, and the guy just called me. He's literally taking it off now, so I gotta drive out there. It's kind of rainy and nasty out, but it's kind of warm out today. So I'll go pick that plow up, get it back here and take a look at it, and then I'll bring you in the shop. I'll tell you what the status of the C10 is here. Working on doors and stuff, so it's a day in the life video. Let's go pick up a snowplow. I found a Meyer snowplow for that black Dodge truck that we got last week with Ted. I'm flying solo today, but the guy had one on an 89 Dodge, and he bought a truck out of Tennessee or somewhere, and he was going to use it for his plow truck, and then he said, you know what, this is too nice to wreck. So he bought a different plow truck, or a plow for his other truck. Here, I think E47 or whatever. It's got the electronic pump on the front with the solenoids and the joystick control. It's, you know, probably late 80s plow, I would imagine. It's a little bit more modern than the one that's on my 80 Brown Dodge factory plow truck. That's all hydraulic with push-pull controls to run the hydraulics. So this is a little bit more modern, but it's going to bolt right on the front of that black 80 Dodge short box and just be all electronic and hook right up real easy, and then I'll be all set. So I'm going to drive on out, and we'll pick her on up and get back here to the Quick Speed Shop. Been raining. If you just watch on the windshield, it's been raining and nasty all day, and I've got the plow. Here it is, and actually got a whole bunch of extra parts with it too, which was awesome. It's a Meyer E47, and it's got a newer motor on it, and it was on an 89 Dodge, I think. So it's got all the right parts. The blade is a little crunchy, but for what we're doing, it's fine. It came with 2 extra set of shoes, and these shoes have got some plates welded on the bottom of them. But it's what's that? Oh yeah, Walden Avenue. I got TW truck equippers. So it's a little crunchy up here at the top and the bottom. It looks like it laid maybe face down like this for a while, and the water collected on it. But I'm not going to restore this one to nice shape like the one I'm doing for my brown Dodge. It's just going to be is what it is. Ooh, look at got a lot of pitting on them cylinders. I might get after that with some emery cloth. Ooh, nasty. Anyways, the guy used it. Ooh, it's loose like a goose. Guy used it for a while on his truck, which was just like an off-road in his driveway type of truck, but now he's got a newer plow truck, and he doesn't want to beat the crap out of his 89 Dodge. So we got this guy here. It's got the more modern style lights. This is probably like a late 80s plow, I would guess. I don't know what years they made them exactly or what the deal is, but it looks like it's all there. Mine, one of these pivot pins is busted off in there. I don't know. This guy, I have to lube it up, but I got all that, got the plow blade. And in the back here, we got a whole host of miscellaneous stuff. I got the harness. I've got like 2 extra pumps. This one, it looks like it's got a newer motor on it, but it's in pieces, and the pump was off it. That one's got a good pump, or the cylinder, but the bottom of the case is broke where the bolt goes through. Dash wiring harness. Here's the harness for the controller. I like this. He made a little mount for the control stock that bolts onto the floor with a piece of rubber out of rebar. So that's kind of cool. So that's going to mount to the tunnel in the truck, and then you got your up and down and your left and right on the switch. Here, like I said, it came with extra shoes. That one's worn right out. Extra shoes, extra springs. The mount is in good shape for going on the truck. We got the full mount for the bottom, and we got an extra lifted arm here. We got the frame mounts. The one has been repaired, which is fine. A lot of them break after a while. Somebody went and stuck a piece of metal under there and put that back together. That one's kind of scaly and thinner than that one. But I got all the mounts. I got some miscellaneous wiring. Ooh, that's cool. Comes with a blue snowplow light switch. So parts and pieces, some other rams and cylinders and motors and switches and whatnot. $350 for everything, which I think is a good deal. Especially came off a running and driving truck, so I know it operated. A lot of these plows you see are just on the face space, and they're like laying in the weeds or whatever, and you don't know when was the last time it functioned, what was with it. This guy was very meticulous. He's a mechanic by trade, and he taken everything off, explained everything to me, had everything all laid out on the floor, and literally took it off the truck this morning for me. So I know that it's going to be good. And actually, we could take this blade right off the trailer and hook it up to my brown Dodge. And I thought about doing that. I would be able to use this blade right with my older style Meyer. The connections are the same, but I've still got to tune that truck up from the last time Tom and I were out looking at it and determined that the plugs are fouled. I have new plugs, but it's going to get super cold starting tomorrow, like down in like the zeros. So I probably won't mess with that right now, but we got entire plow. The old Corby's truck I just dragged is way over there, hiding back in there. So this will go right on the front of it and be the proper Dodge plow. It'll bolt right into the frame here, bolts right into the frame, and then if you had your bumper brackets, they bolt right on there. So it's the right setup for what I needed, and $350. How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? That was a good price. I had to push this 93 F250 I bought out of the way, which is dead again. It's hard to start sometimes, and I just went and it lined up with a trailer. I was able to push right back with the trailer with the other truck, but I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with this thing yet. It's got the 460 that runs, and it would run and drive. It could be restored, but the box is junk on the outside, and it would need tires, brakes. It smells like mice real bad. Needs cab corners, needs a fender on this side, needs a windshield. Still smells like mice even though we cleaned it out. And it could probably have mice back in it again, I would imagine. Or we didn't get them all out, but I still don't know. I'm probably going to part this thing out in the spring, I imagine, because I really don't think it's worth restoring it. But it is a whole bunch of good parts, and it was in the right ballpark, so that's just sitting out here chilling. But we got the old Meyer. Still got the original sticker on her there, and the safety sticker over there, so probably only been painted maybe once, maybe not ever been painted. I don't know. It's got the, I bet somebody replaced that ram. It looks like newer sticker on that side, and that looks like original sticker on that side, so that's probably why that one's all rusty. But we got her going. It'll work good enough for what I got to do for the few times I plow the driveway. I'll tell you what a difference a day makes. Yesterday was like 40 degrees when I went and got that plow, and it was kind of rainy, and then it got dark, so I ran out of time. But now it's like 20 degrees out. It's freezing. All my footprints I made are frozen. But last night I did throw the plow frame on the front of the truck, just with one bolt, just kind of hold it on there so you can get a look. Didn't want to leave you guys hanging. Like I said, this is actually meant for a Dodge, so it slips right inside the frame here. And it bolts through the side, through the top, through the back, and then you get the lower piece that comes down here for the plow mount, and then there's frame brackets that go back to the frame and mount up that way. But I just, threw this guy in the frame. It's actually frozen in there already. It looks like there's a hole there. They only put one bolt in. I'll probably drill a couple more holes in it. This is where the bumper brackets would bolt on. Then you get the extension out here where you put your bumper out. I still need to get the bumper from the kid I bought the truck from. He's got it out, I just got to get it from him. But the bumper mounts out here and the mounts go on here, so it slips in really good. This is the style of plow that was on the truck. It was I think an E47, because it had the switch. The E47's got a joystick, but the E46 had this panel here with the toggle switches. So your headlights, and then up and down, or left and right, and then up and down. So we'll get a little bit more modern joystick over here. The guy made the foot out of rebar, and it goes over here, and I can run the stick there, just bolt it right to the tunnel. Man, this truck is rotten. Dang. Anyway, so I just threw it on there to get it out of the way. I'll probably get some kind of plastic bag and throw over this guy for the winter time here while it's sitting. It would be good, or if I got like a rubber flap that I could flop over it when I'm not using the truck, so it had coverage on the pump just to keep it out of the weather and keep the solenoids out of the weather. That'd be good. It's got some pop-up solenoids here. These like electromagnet, and then there's a poppet that goes inside the hydraulic valve body. Then there's a third one back here. I'm sorry, a third one back here, so you get up and down on the ram, and then you get left and right on your plow hoses here. Luckily, the guy put brand new hoses on everything, so he really kept care of it, because he used it for a bunch of years on his truck and kept it pretty much inside. So it's in good shape. It looks like it's got a newer motor on it and everything else, so it's been taken care of. He had the blue Meyer snowplow juice in it, so it had the good juice. Oh, these are actually factory Meyer. Look at this. Made for Meyer by Truck Light. I was going to put round lights on it like my my 3/4 ton. I was going to put the round lights on this, but these are actually Meyer snowplow lights with plugs, and I bet they plug into the harness that's behind the grill that was in the truck. I bet I can plug all this Kirk right back in like that. Anyways, just want to give you guys an update before I go in, because now it's freezing out, but it's on there. That's what it's going to look like. And then obviously the plow blade will be out here, Kirk. But, oh no, I changed 3 tires on this thing, and I got a flat already. Come on. So that's it for the old Dodge right now. She's going to sit here till springtime, and we're going to get it out, put a carburetor on it, put a battery in it, wire it up, get everything going, fire it up, drive it around. I'm going to get, I got some 31s to put on it, actually in my on my Eagle wagon and my pole barn that are all trains. I'd really like to get a set of aggressive tires like these to put on it. That'd be super cool. But do I really need to spend like $400 on retread mud tires for a truck that sits in the yard? Probably not, since I already have tires. Or I'll find a set at the junkyard, maybe, or on the face space. Oh, I did change the taillight on this side. I had this Snow Fighter, early 70s Snow Fighter truck side. I just cut off in the junkyard because the box was rotted away, but it had the Snow Fighter decal on it. And I had a lens on it that's cracked, but it wasn't all smashed to death like the one that was on the truck, which is remnants there, was all broken. So I threw that on there just so it doesn't look so terrible having a broken tail light. But you're looking at it. One more thing I did notice. Get under here. Look at the frame. Look at this. Right here. Bad. It's broke on the bottom. They all rot where the fuel tank cross member is. They seem to rot there for some reason. Stuff must sit in there, but frame's broken right off at the bottom. Broken all the way up through here to about here. That's real bad. And it's got a hole in the back. So this frame is toast. My brown Dodge was the same way. It was completely rotted in the back like this, and actually the gas tank cross member had fallen right out of it with the fuel tank attached when my buddy Marty owned it. So we're going to address this, and I've got a solution that we'll do in the spring. It's going to involve cutting the frame rails off and putting brand new frame rails under the back of it. Well, brand new used frame rails. By brand new used frame rails, I mean the ones under this truck that I started with, the C10. These are 8-foot rails, but they are scaly, but they're not real rotted because they've had paint put on them. And this truck is too junk to restore, so I'm, slowly parting it out to build the other truck. So I'm just going to go cut the rails off right here, Kirk, widen them about 5 inches, and bam, stick them under the back of that Dodge, rehang the leaf springs, and then we'll have good frame rails on the back of our Dodge/Chevy thrown together. But if I don't do that, that truck will literally break in half very, very soon. Let's go back inside because I'm freezing. Okay, I came in a pole barn real fast here. Here's the tires I was talking about. They're hard to see because it's dark in here, but I got some general ATS 2 grabbers. I got these at the junkyard. Actually, they were on Project Rusty Junk YJ. First, back in the day, actually, these aren't, yeah, these are 31 10.5s. So I'll probably put these on those chrome Western wheels on that truck. They're actually good tires. They're a few years old, but they've got really nice tread on them. I think I paid like 120 bucks for them at the junkyard about 3-4 years ago. So they've been inside. They're just sitting on this car doing nothing. And I've got some other stock wheels and tires I can throw on this just for happenstance. So this will be a good set of tires to put on the old Dodge. Man, it's like the land of lost hopes and dreams. All the cars are in here, put away for the winter, all covered up, freezing. It's freezing in here. Model A Hot Rod Shop Truck is buried. And hopefully, if I hear like sooner rather than later, this truck's going to go to the Cleveland Piston Powered Show in March. We've been waiting to hear. I applied and paid. And they're doing pre-34 Ford hot, or pre-34 or 34 and older hot rods. So I applied. This truck's a 29, chop channel and sectioned hot rod shop truck. You know, back and watch the whole rebuilding series on it. But now it's pinstriped. Just got to clean it up a little bit, and hopefully this will be on display in March at the Cleveland XI Center there for the Piston Powered Show. So waiting to hear on that. But in the meantime, it's sitting here just freezing away. Oh, one other thing I bought, just as an aside for you 4x4 guys. When I picked up the Dodge, the kid sold me a transfer case. It's a Ford 205. That's right. I think it's a 75 to 79, like Bronco or F150 transfer case. It's not divorced. It bolts onto a transmission. And 205s are great because they're gear driven. They're not, it's upside down right now, but they're gear driven. They're not chain drive. It's got twin stick capabilities. If the original shifter was rail with a single shifter, but you can twin stick them, so you can do like 2 low and stuff like that. But $100 for this. Look on eBay, you see what they go for. They're $800 to $1,000 for a good 205 Ford transfer case. And I might even have a ZF 5-speed, big block 460 ZF 5-speed that would bolt, bam, right onto that, so I can build the ultimate 460 ZF 205 Ford truck at some point. But I picked that up. That was a super awesome score right there. Bam. All right, so back inside here, working on the C10. The last video just came out on this truck. I got the door skin installed, and I used my Astro Pneumatic DS1000 door skinning tool. If you see the video on that, it's a long one, it's about an hour long, but this goes and puts the door seam on, door skin seam on. And I got to do a little bit of hammer and dolly work here, and this is going to require a little bit of body work around the very edge. I guess there's no way to get away from it. You know, a little bit of hammer and dolly work I did, and it wrinkled the skin up just a hair. Must have been something trapped in the seam there, made a little high spot. I'm gonna grind that down, but I got a little spot there. I got a couple of dings, so it's just gonna take like a very, very light skim coat of filler. We're talking like, you know, thousandths of an inch thick, just to smooth this out. Body work the very edges of the door, get it all nice, get it all dialed in. The center of the door, completely mint condition, you know, all through here. So just a tiny, tiny little bit of work on the very edge to straighten out. You know, I'm not a body guy. I just play one on TV. And this is the first full-size door skin I've ever installed. Just, you know, rip the Band-Aid right off and do it. And it came out pretty nice. I'm not going to cry about have to use just a little bit of filler to straighten it out. So I'm going to work on hammer and dolly this out a little bit today. And then I've got to do the other door over there. I'm going to lay that up, get that cut off, and then cut the skin off, fit it, get it all set, and then hammer that guy around. You can see the old skin I took off here. I've got to get the door handle off it. I'm almost ready for primer on this guy here. Got to clean this up. I want to get some primer on all the new metal here, all the way around the door jamb. The roof is pretty much hand sanded. It's covered with grinder filler now, but I've got to clean it up. I've seam sealed my rain gutters twice here now. I just got to clean that up a little bit. Scotch-brite that probably again, and then be able to prime the entire top of the roof. and the door jambs and the rocker panels. I want to scuff all this up. This was like weld through primer. I've been sanding on it for a little bit. I want to scuff the rest of this up, get the whole thing ready, shoot the entire cab in epoxy again, get it all dialed in there. I can mount the hinges permanently. I've marked a couple little pin pricks with a center punch, and I scribed a line so I know where my hinge goes before I take the door off, because this is super adjustable. I can mount that up. The hinges will remain on it when it gets painted, and the doors will unbolt on the door section because there's way less adjustment with the doors that way than this way. You're always trying to fight with it. I've got to get these stripped and ready for paint, but it's we're cruising along here bodywork wise or metal wise. We're almost done. I just got to fix the hinge mount over there, and then all the metal work on the cab will be done all together. So prime it, start doing body work. Hopefully body work will take maybe a couple weeks, if that. Like I said, most of the work's going to be on the doors. I'd like to get the cab in final primer, get the doors in final primer, you know, by the end of the month of February. It'll start to warm up a little bit. Get the front fenders scuffed and ready for primer them. And then probably in March, shoot the Hawaiian blue on the cab. The whole inside Hawaiian blue, the rockers, the door jambs, you know, firewall and everything, roof, the back of the cab, whatever you're looking at here, paint the entire cab blue immediately. And then as soon as that's done, we can start doing things like sliding the engine in. Actually, I need to fill a little bit my plug welds on the firewall, clean them up, but then we can start sliding the engine in, the wiring harness, the master cylinder, stuff like that. You know, obviously I want it painted before I put obstacles in the way, but get that going in there. Then we can hang the doors. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint the doors off the truck now, depending on how good I get the body work, but potentially paint the whole door inside and out. You'll at least get painted on the inside, but if I paint the whole door, the whole cab would be painted, panel. I'm going to get enough paint where I can panel paint the entire truck with the right, you know, not run out of paint. I'll probably get at least 2 gallons of paint, and then by the time you thin it and mix it with hardener, you're going to have, you know, at least 3 gallons of paint to spray this truck, which should be plenty. Get it all shot in blue in the front, at least, hopefully. Get it going. We've got to still do the lowering kit on this after the starts to get the engine and stuff like that in. After we get this painted up, then we'll pull out the springs, put the lowering kit in it. It's going to go down about 4.5, 5 inches in the back. It's going to go down like 4 in the front. I got to change the coil springs, the spindles in the front. In the back, it just gets coil springs and a track bar, and then it'll go down. These tires are also 31-inch tires, so it'll have a lot shorter tire. It's going to get probably like a 225/70 or something on it like that. So it'll drop it probably like 2 inches just with the tires, or 1.5 inches with the tires anyway. So truck will come way down close to the ground when it's actually at ride height. Right now it's like a monster truck, but that's what I'm working on here. So I'm going to get back to getting back on regular C10 content. Thanks for following along. A little day in a life trip here, picking up a plow for a Dodge that I didn't know I had like 2 weeks ago, and suddenly it's here. And now we're ready to build that into a off-road plow truck in the summertime next year, just for fun. And it'd be kind of cool to get that truck going again and save it. And then in the meantime, we'll have the C10 on the road in the summer. And then we're going to start the big work, the big project. I'm going to drag in the 69 GTX, build a frame table, and we're going to start cutting that car apart and putting it back together, put new rails and floors and stuff in the back, and then start adding the new skin to convert it to a Charger, and eventually a Charger Daytona. So I can't wait for that to happen. But right now, it's so cold out, I'm going to work in here with a heater on the old C10, banging on panels. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell your friends that you saw everything cool here happening at the Quick Speed Shop.